I was given the assignment to carry forward establishment. We got a piece of land from the government in Bilyandila, not very far from here.
Yes.
And that's where we set up the first children's village. I actually lived here for 5 years. It was some of the best days of my time, even if the country was going through a lot of disturbances at times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started with one village in Bilyandila, but now the good times have come, the civil war has finally ended. So that must have given you the opportunity to expand
we expanded steadily since 1981.
Okay.
And we were first in Bilyandila, then we moved up in the hills to Norelia, then we went down to the coast in Gaul, and up to Anuradhapura, then across to Munragala.
Okay.
We always wanted to do something in the north and the east, but unfortunately the conditions on the ground did not permit. And after the things have settled down now and there is a lot of security, we are also in the process of establishing our program in town of Jaffna. Yeah, we are working on that.
Where you will be spending your Christmas this year?
Yes, I am going up in the next days, and we are not Christians, but the organization has no such religious things, but we have a few children there who are Christian.
Yes.
And we will be spending our Christmas together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just focusing on that point, internationally the SOS Children's Village is spread out among, as you said, 133 countries.
Yes.
So basically it would have come across so many diverse cultures, so many different societies, and you yourself have had the opportunity of working with some of these different countries. So how has your experience been different from what it has been in Sri Lanka, if you would like to compare?
You know, we are in 133 countries, which means we are in every major religion.
Yes.
We are in every major political system which is existing. Every color, black, brown, yellow, whatever you name it. I think the foundation of our work by Dr. Minor was not based on any of these things. It was based on the child's need to have a family and to have a mother. So whichever system you go into, everybody wants to have a family. Yes, there are local differences, the languages are different, the food is different, even the way they live, the way they make their homes, where their priorities are at home are different. But what I have found is that everybody wants to have a group of people, normally a family, to which they can belong. You know, it gives them a lot of security.
The four principles remain the same.
They remain the same. You can adapt them, you can change them. We have different forms of villages. We have our own village. We have families living in the community. So, but the basic principles have not changed. They remain same. Yeah.
So, the village is the heart of your operation, but that is not the only thing that happens when it comes to the SOS Children's Villages. What other activities or operations are around the village?
You see, our primary focus has been a child who has no one. So somebody has to take care of this child. Then our second focus is on children who are in the danger of losing their families. Whatever the reason may be, poverty, war, conflicts, anything, but they could lose their family. So what we are doing is we want to support these families so that they don't break up and they can remain together, so that these children will not have to go out. They can stay with their parents. That's what we call our family support programs.
Okay.
We are also in the field of education, especially if there are no proper schools in the neighborhood. We have a school in Sri Lanka, in Bilyandila, because those days there were no school.
Yes.
And I believe it's one of the very few schools probably the only school in Sri Lanka which is run in a partnership between the Ministry of Education and a NGO. So we have that. We have health programs. We focus on children getting all their primary health care properly. Once again, in Sri Lanka, we do this in partnership with the Ministry of Health. So depending on what the local need is. We do emergencies. During emergency, we try to help. During tsunami in Sri Lanka, we were very, very active. We built more than 1,000 houses for people. We built a school, a huge high school. We built 12 social centers for communities which had no place to gather. So if there is a particular need and if we have the resources, then we would join hands.
Absolutely. And one thing that I spoke with you just before this discussion earlier was about the emergency relief that you have in place. Speaking a bit about that, of course it's not currently in place at the moment.
We are grateful for that.
Yes, we are grateful. But how have that come in place, especially during the period of tsunami?
I think we were in all the 4 countries of Asia where tsunami hit. And we have a very wide membership. Around 7 million people in the globe support us. And they asked us, you are there, you have been there for so many years. You know, we were in Sri Lanka for almost 30 years when tsunami hit. We had been in India for more than 50 years. We had been in Indonesia for about 40 odd years, in Thailand for similarly since 1972. So they said, you got to help. And we were there, and we had good relations with the governments. They trusted us. We made some relations with people. So you can't just stay back and watch and say, okay, I don't have to do anything. So if there's somebody who needs help and you have some resources to help, then we have to help. We can't avoid this.
It's a matter of taking the initiative.
Yes, you have to come forward and say, yes, I will do. Whatever little you can do, you must do. Yeah.
So some of the other countries that you have worked in, of course, are Cambodia and Vietnam. And you have been, well, acknowledged for the work you've done there. You've been honored for the work you've done there. Let's speak a little bit about that, your achievements per se.
No, I think achievements are not so many. And for me personally, it's fulfilling when you come back to a village and you meet children and young people whom you have known when they were very small, and they have grown up and they have settled, and then they come to meet you and they're married, they come with their husband or wife and their children and they're their home. I think that's
more fulfilling.
Yeah. Yes, the state likes to recognize, you receive some medals you can hang, which is also very interesting. I think it's more important to get this sense of fulfillment when you are talking with especially the children who have lost their families. And somehow you have contributed a little bit to bring them back into this mainstream of society, so they feel secure. Yeah.
Very, very humbly said, Mr. Siddhartha. So, one important thing is, this is Christmas time, it's December, and it's also the time for giving. So I'm sure there are a lot of viewers out there who are watching us right now and thinking, how is it that I can be a part of this initiative? How is it that I can contribute to, well, all those children out there who could do with a little bit of more support? So Mr. Cole, if you could share with us as to how our viewers can, well, contribute and join hands with you in supporting these children.
I think we have to remember they are our children.
Yes.
It's our responsibility to help them in whatever way we can.
Yes.
We would like very much if your viewers would help us financially, with their skills, with their time. We have all the possibilities. I would request them to look at our Sri Lankan website.
Yes.
So cvsrilanka.org,
Yes.
which gives a lot of possibilities, and they will also become like a godparent, a sponsor of a child, where they contribute some money, where they visit the child once in a way, whenever the time permits, invite the child, and give a sense of security to the children. And I think it's season of giving, and I hope they would give.
Well, with that, it's time for us to round up this interview with Mr. Siddharth Kaur, who is the International President of the SOS Children's Villages. Thank you very much for taking your time to join us this morning. We understand that you have a very busy schedule, and you're only here for a few days, so hope that you enjoy your time here in Sri Lanka, and greetings of the season for you, Mr. Kaur. So with that, it's time to round up our interview session, but more on Good Morning Sri Lanka coming up on the other side. Stay tuned right after this commercial break.
Welcome back, and just before the break, Harith, I think that was definitely a very interesting story and something to motivate and inspire all of us.
Indeed, Mevan, in this current day, we have a society and a country which needs a lot of expertise in charity work, in humanitarian work, and it is a great thing that individuals from other countries have started coming into Sri Lanka and spreading the word and spreading the method of doing proper charity work.
And what I realized, in the recent times, if people want to carry out charity work, it's just not that. They have to sell their concept. And actually people like to get involved in something that has a novel concept behind it. And for example, the recently concluded there was this campaign called Run for Their Lives. I'm sure you've heard of it as well. And because of that novel concept and because of the media publicity that they gained from it, I think people were more interested in coming and being a part of it.
Of course, Mevan, in the modern day, it's not just about having a passion and a cause to do something. Now, 30 years back, probably a charitable cause was you get with a couple of friends and you do something good and you feel good about it. But today, there's so much organization, there's so much to do, so much to prepare, so much administration, management, etc. involved. So there is an element of expertise in doing charity work.
Yes, okay. Going on the note of charity, I think this apparently this woman might need some of that, because our next story, as interesting as it seems, Christmas is a time for sharing, I know, but
is it a time for stealing?
Is it a time for stealing? I don't know, you tell me, because apparently there's a home surveillance video which had captured Christmas decorations, a Christmas decorations thief. That's something that's not very nice to do in the season of Christmas.
Imagine waking up on the day after Christmas to see your Christmas tree all bare, just the green and no decor. I suppose these people would have got a real shock.
And apparently,
I wonder if the Christmas spirit is there in that family. Well, I think that lady would have actually still wished that poor lady who has been the thief in this instance, Happy Christmas, because I suppose there is a reason that she would have probably stolen. Maybe, I mean, Christmas decor is not so valuable.
I know exactly. And if it was a bunch of teenagers, I'd understand, they just do it for kicks, but I don't know what she was going to do with the
Let's think of it in this way, maybe she wanted her children to have a better Christmas and to have a better looking Christmas tree at her house, so she stole from a house that
is definitely a much mellow, nice thought coming to you from Harith. But with that thought, we have to leave you and say bye-bye. We'll be back tomorrow again, and hopefully you'll have a great day today.